Quick question. When was the last time running your childcare program actually felt sustainable? Not just surviving, not just getting through the week, sustainable. Welcome to Childcare Conversations. We're hosting a 2-day virtual summit called Building Profitable Childcare Programs Without Burnout or Bailouts, happening February 24th and 25th. This summit is for owners, directors, and early learning leaders who are done carrying everything alone and ready to build programs with strong leadership, solid systems, and real financial stability. Over the next several episodes, you'll hear the kind conversations you'll experience at the summit. Practical, honest, and grounded in real-world leadership. To learn more and register, head to childcareconversations.com and click the summit registration link. Let's dive in. Welcome to Childcare Conversations with Kate and Carrie.
Well, today we have a guest from, as some people say, across the pond. So Fiona Webb is a childcare owner from the UK who we met at one of the international conferences, the Childcare Business Growth Live conference. And she came to Austin, and so we got to hang out and go see a program here in Austin, Texas. And we just had such a great time. We were like, oh, we've got to get her on the podcast. And
well, really what we said was, why didn't we record a podcast while she was here?
Yes. Well, yes, that would have maybe made more sense.
That was the first statement.
Yeah,
we
that would
let
have
her
been
leave.
Yep. And her son is here at UT, so that was part of her. She didn't just come to visit Kate and I.
Oh, quit telling. We could make people think she came just to see us.
He didn't want me there for the whole week. He was like, you need to go and do some work. Go and do something else.
So, Fiona, tell us a little bit about how you came to be in early care and why you wanted to be an owner. And then we'll go from there.
Okay. So I did a business studies degree, finished school, did a business studies degree, and then went to the army for 10 years. Had the best time ever in the army.
Okay, that seems those two statements don't go together.
No, I had a great time.
Best time ever.
Absolute. Learned some amazing sort of leadership skills, things that have come through life with me. Brilliant. But then I had my daughter and decided that I needed to find a different career. But at the same time, I went to look at some nurseries, and some good, some not so good. And I looked around places and I thought, I feel like I would like to do this. I feel like I can do this. I can do this better. I got my mum with me, who was so I got no background in childcare, apart from I'd suddenly had a child, or I'd got a child. But my mum was a healthcare professional. She was a health visitor. And she was like, we can do this. We can definitely do this. And so I left the army. We found a premises and we set up a nursery. And my daughter is now 25. So that was 25 years ago. And then I've done different things along the way. So we sold that one, bought a small group of 3, added a couple more to it, sold a couple of those. And I find myself now with 3 settings, quite close to each other. But along the way, I decided that I needed to understand the professional side. I couldn't just carry on doing the pay and the books, and I needed to really understand. So I did an early years teaching degree. And that sort of sparked my curiosity into, what do other people do? What does settings look like across the world, I guess,
Love that. I mean, other than coming to the United States, have you been to other countries and seen how nurseries are set up or the settings in other countries? And if you haven't, which ones do you want to go to next?
So I haven't. I was supposed to go, and then COVID happened. So I was going to go to there's a sort of an Iceland thing. And I also wanted to go to Montessori, go and see some Montessori, do some training with them. We're not a Montessori setting, but I really wanted to do that. And then COVID happened. So, but I've got quite a good group of friends and other owners here. So if we ever have a meeting.
So when are we all going to Iceland?
Well, why not?
Italy? I'm thinking. I think there's some trips here we've got planned.
Yeah. I can organize them for you. You organize them for me, and we're off. Yeah.
I'm ready. I also want to go to Finland though, because I think their approach is also very interesting.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
one in like Eastern Africa,
Right.
where they have the concept of Ubuntu. So the concept of, we have to do everything together. It needs to serve the whole community.
Okay.
I think,
Okay.
and then we'll go to like not Shanghai. What's the city state in Asia that speaks English? Let's go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could literally just do a world tour. Why not?
Yeah, it's Singapore, right? It's
Yeah.
Singapore that also has a very interesting early childhood philosophy or take.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I
so
guess if we're
think
over there, we could also do Australia. Let's just,
We've got all that way. Why not?
yeah, I mean, okay, it might be several trips. I don't think we can do it all in one, but I'm ready.
I don't know who's paying for this. Let's find
Well,
a sponsor.
you guys are going to do the training along the way. We'd have to stop, and you can do some training, and then off we go and carry on. Yeah.
I love that idea. I think we need to find a sponsor. So
Yeah.
we need an international somebody.
Okay.
So if you're listening, whoever you are, and you would like to sponsor the three of us on a world tour,
Yeah.
just let us know. We're right there. So I could plant some organization names, like, there's this company in New Zealand. I think they could probably do it. So, Martin and Cindy, if you're listening, I'm not going to call you out by company, but by name. See, now we know who listens to the podcast.
So that we could do New Zealand instead of Australia? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We can.
I mean,
And
both of those countries have amazing support, I think, compared to the American support for early childhood. I think both New Zealand and Australia do a better job of supporting early childhood.
Okay. And we're also, as in this kind of industry, really welcoming, aren't we? Really welcoming to if somebody gives, an owner from the States or wherever called me and said, "Can I come?" Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. Whereas I wonder if that would happen in every industry, if you'd be worried about who's coming to look round, or I feel like we're very open and welcoming.
I feel like in your former career of the Army, people would be less welcoming if you were like, "Hi, I would like to walk around and see your training facilities in the New Zealand Army." I don't know that they'd be quite as welcoming. And I don't even know if Singapore has an army.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is Iceland, Finland.
That's the first trip.
And we can do UK. I mean, I can keep you busy for weeks.
Yeah, we'll just
anywhere you want to go, I can keep you busy here for weeks.
Well, if we're over there, we'd have to at least make a side trip to some Scottish city anyway, right, Carrie?
Yeah.
So
yes.
Yeah. We have family from there, so
okay.
And I figured if we're over there, we might as well go to Paris, and I might as well squeeze in, like, I don't know, Disneyland Paris.
Of course.
You should have known that was coming, Carrie. So
well, that's part of why we're going to Singapore. I figured that would get you your Disney. That would get you your Disney.
Yeah.
I'm actually in my head going, how can we get to all of them?
That's not necessary. Not necessary. Okay, let's get back on to, like, what are some of the things that you have found are maybe significantly, like, you expected them to be more different between the US and the UK's childcare? I mean, we know that the vocabulary is a little different because we say centers and you say settings.
Yeah.
It both starts with a S, but other than that.
Yeah, and I think we would say director for the person who owns the business. A director for you is the manager of the setting.
Yes.
Right? So what do you call the manager of the
manager?
Nursery?
The nursery manager is the manager. The owner is the director, within reason, But when you were talking about the director, that threw me a bit. So yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Those little things. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So,
and nursery can be. I mean, we call it a nursery, a setting. A nursery can sound a bit old-fashioned now. Maybe I don't know. But it's maybe more common that we talk about your nursery rather than But do you know one thing that really I found really nice was that it wasn't a lot different childcare, if you do it well and it's done for the good of the child, is the same wherever you go, isn't it? Whatever the language, whatever, good childcare looks the same wherever you are. So like they were really busy, weren't they, that day? And there was all kinds of stuff going on, and there was somebody else coming, but every room we walked in was like really calm. And the practitioners were all really engaged. They looked up, they smiled, they said hello, but then they got back to the children. There was nobody was running around with a clipboard panicking about lunches, or I don't know who's booked in and he isn't booked in and why are they here? And there was none of that. There was just it was just sort of really good sound, sort of calm practice. And that's really good to see, isn't it? That was amazing. I really enjoyed seeing that.
Well, and I think that when you're not the one running a program, frequently we don't see the chaos. When you're the one who is running the program, you see all the chaotic elements.
Yeah, right.
Where if a parent is just dropping their children off or another educator is visiting, they're not going to notice the look on your staff person's face that tells you that you need to go talk to them for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Because you know that face and you know that is I have a problem with the luncheon.
Yeah.
And so people aren't going to notice it. And so there may have been chaos that we just didn't recognize because we didn't know those faces.
Yeah.
But it is, I did pick a program that I know is very well run.
Yeah.
I went to secondary school with the owner.
Okay.
And she had a whole other career as an actor and a dancer, and then came back to Austin and showed up in one of my classes. And I was like, what are you doing here? I haven't seen you since we were on a dance squad together in, the 10th grade. Well, I guess I'd seen her all through secondary school, but it was just very, and she's run it for almost as long as you have, Fiona.
Right,
it's been a long time.
But what's interesting is all of us and the owner Carrie's talking about is we all found ourselves in this industry for the exact same reason and with a very similar path.
Yeah.
Now, Carrie, you are not the norm. Not everybody knew at age 3 this is what they wanted to do.
Yes,
but
I'm a weirdo.
Your timing of opening your programs was absolutely related to when all of a sudden you had children that needed care and you needed a place to put them. And I think that kind of resonates with even what you were saying in the beginning, Fiona, about, that we're nice, like that we are open to sharing and we want to be there for other people.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I either do networking or meetings with people in the UK, when you talk to people and you go, why did you end up doing this? Most people will say, I was looking for somewhere for my own child and I thought I can do this better. And I still do, we've got our vision, we've got our values, we've got all this stuff. But my basic line is, if it's not good enough for my child, it's not good enough for somebody else's. So, and my managers know that now, and we will have that conversation. Sometimes we'll walk around and I'll say, what do you think with that? And she'll say, no. And so it's just like, that's the thing, isn't it? I think that we all think that we only want what is good enough or better for our own child. I don't know if you agree with that, but.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that finding ways to make the program reflect your values is important because there are other parents out there who have the same values you do, and you're going to have a better time running your school if the people who are paying you value the same things you do. I love the BBC4 show where they put kids in a setting and film them.
Right.
And you get to hear the early childhood conversations that people who aren't educators don't get to hear, those conversations of 4-year-olds negotiating. I love it.
Yeah.
But even in those where it's entirely manufactured, they have different kind of educational philosophies reflected in different seasons. There's one that was all very much a nature-based program, and the playground was had a mud kitchen and lots of like, let's go find sticks and things. And then there was another one that was everything was very manufactured.
Yeah.
And so, the kids had more of a polished experience and stuff like that. So I think putting your values into your program is a really important part of it.
Yeah. And that comes across then in a way when you do your visits or your tours. And I think you have to have the confidence to think if we're not the right fit, we're not the right nursery for them. It's not sort of just grabbing parents, grab, because it doesn't work, does it? And you've got to be confident to say, this is us. Go and look at other places as well. I mean, obviously we want the business, but look and check that we are the right fit, because your child is quite possibly going to spend more time with us than it is with you if it's in a full-time place. So yeah, I think you're right.
Well, and it's important to understand. I mean, I think you said, like, I'm hoping people heard that nugget, which is you want people who want to be there, who see you as a good fit.
Yeah.
And like Carrie said, and we've all had the families who aren't the right fit, or the
Yeah.
kid. Sometimes the family's great, but that one kid, and they may have had an older sibling or a younger sibling that's perfect. And then you've got that one that like doesn't really work in that environment. And I know as a parent of 4 kids, not all of my kids would have ever done well at the exact same program.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was really fortunate enough that I knew enough people and had my own experience that I was able to do the drive around, right? And let the kids go to the programs that really
Yeah.
do work for them. But there's a lot of families that are like, no, I want to make it easy. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to send all of my kids here. And,
Yeah.
inevitably, um, especially if you've got more than 2, you're going to have one that probably doesn't fit in that square, right? So you're trying to put that round peg in that square and it's not working.
Yeah, for
And
sure. And
so if you're listening and you're an owner or a director, right? If you're the one who makes who is uh owning the program, has that risk, help your managers, your directors understand how to help families understand the importance of
yeah.
that right fit. And it might mean they gotta find more than one program.
And
I
give
mean,
the manager the confidence, because
Mm,
if you're giving them
absolutely.
targets and you're saying your occupancy's got to get from this to this to this, they've got to have the confidence to say, maybe this isn't right for you're not a right fit. That you've got to allow your staff to be able to have the freedom to do that as well. Otherwise, it becomes difficult for them, doesn't it? So,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
if you're again that nature-based program, where the kids are, you know, playing in a mud kitchen, and one of the first questions a parent asks when they're walking through is, what percentage of your 4-year-olds can write?
Yeah.
Then you're probably like,
Yeah.
maybe not the right match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if they're valuing being able to write their name by 4, that may or may not happen in the mud kitchen.
Yeah.
Or is my kid going to get dirty?
Do they have to go outside? Yes.
Oh, good Lord. The questions of, does my child have to go outside, and does my child have to take a rest time?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
state says they have to.
Right.
No,
You
but I
have
want
to
you to
move to
keep them
another state
awake.
if you want your kid to be able to stay inside and awake.
Yeah.
They can't be in the state of Texas.
Right.
You need a nanny. That's what that is. You need a nanny. You
Yeah.
need to let somebody else be responsible for keeping that child awake, not us.
Yeah.
So because that impacts, that's not just a single kid impact, right? That's not a single kid, single family. That's an entire program,
Yeah.
a classroom, an entire setting. It's a teacher that may not stay. I can't- no. If I was that teacher, I would not stay. I would have been out of there if I was told I had to keep a preschooler who's exhausted
Yeah.
awake. I mean, it's bad enough as a parent when your child won't go take that nap and you have to deal with the aftermath.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can't imagine doing that as a classroom teacher. So Fiona, as we kind of wrap up this conversation, if there was one thing that you would want to share with owners, directors, managers,
all of those
every other,
people.
all those people, regardless of where in the world they are, what would you want them to know about either seeing other programs or even, like you said, finding what makes you different and what makes your program the right fit for somebody?
Do you know, I think that it is this constantly being willing to reflect and looking at what you do and how you can do it better. So hence the reason, I thought I want to see another set. I want to see I'm here. I'd like to see, because there might be things I can do. There's always something you can do better, or that you can look at and go, oh, I get confidence in what I'm doing is good. So there were a few bits and bobs that I've come back and since we've started to do. And that's being able to reflect on your own practice. Because if you don't, you go backwards, don't you? Right? You've got to go forwards. And so I just think that being willing to do training, to go on conferences, to read things, to listen is just as important as sitting and looking at your spreadsheets or your plans and things like that. That has really helped me, I think. Yeah. And I like to chat. So chatting to you guys was great. It was, but it's good. You need to be sociable, don't you? You need to hear other people's opinions.
Absolutely. And I think that every program I go to, I see something
Yeah.
that makes me think in a different way.
Yeah.
Programs that have high ratios, so a lot of kids per teacher, I see a lot of really good classroom management, because to keep their sanity, they have to be really good at classroom management. And when I see a program that specializes in specific ages, or is a Waldorf school or something like that, like
Mhm.
I take something every single time. And I think
Yeah.
that is, I think not enough managers, not enough owners do that.
Yeah.
Take the time to go look at other people's businesses with open eyes and an open heart,
Yeah.
looking for
Lifting
what they
yourself.
can bring positively into their program.
Yeah, for sure, isn't it? It's lifting yourself out of, you could so easily just spend every day in the office.
Yeah.
It's taking that time and it's worth it. I think at the end of the day, it's worth it. It all adds value to what you do, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So I think we should wrap up by saying, if you know of a sponsor to help with the international childcare trip,
Yeah.
or if you want to join us, I have no idea what we would price any of that. I think this needs to be on our vision board for the
For
next
sure.
5 years,
Yeah.
is one of these. And make sure that you are subscribed to our newsletter, and go into your podcast player of choice and leave us a review. And you can do that anywhere. And if you're going to tell us something nice about Fiona, we'll make sure she gets the information. And we will talk to you in a few days. Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. We love bringing you real talk and fresh insight from the world of early childhood education. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay connected and catch all of the latest episodes. And if you're planning a conference, training, or special event, Kate and Carrie would love to speak to your audience. You can learn more about their keynote sessions and workshops at kateandcarrie.com. If you learned something today, share the show and leave us a review below. We'll see you next time on Childcare Conversations.